In the land of Canaan, in the tents of the patriarch Jacob, there lived a young man whose dreams would change the world. Jacob had 12 sons, but of all his children, Joseph was his favorite, the firstborn of his beloved Rachel. Jacob loved Joseph so much that he gave him a special gift, a beautiful coat of many colors. When Joseph wore his magnificent coat, it caught the sunlight like a rainbow, marking him as his father's chosen one. But Joseph's brothers saw only favoritism. With each passing day, their jealousy grew into something darker, hatred.
"Father loves him more than all of us,"
they muttered.
"He treats us like servants, while Joseph lives like a prince."
One night, Joseph had a dream, and in his innocence, he shared it with his family.
"I dreamed our sheaves of grain were in the field,"
Joseph told his brothers.
"and your sheaves bowed down to mine."
Joseph didn't understand why this made his brothers angrier. He had another dream about the sun, moon, and stars bowing to him. One day, the brothers took the flocks far from home, and Jacob grew worried about them.
"Go find your brothers,"
Jacob told Joseph,
"and bring me word of how they are."
Joseph set out alone into the wilderness, his colorful coat marking him like a flag against the brown hills. When the brothers saw Joseph coming, something evil rose up in their hearts. They seized Joseph, stripped off his coat, and threw him into an empty pit while he begged for mercy. His cries echoed up from the darkness, but his brothers sat down to eat their lunch as if nothing had happened. When a caravan of merchants passed by heading to Egypt, the brothers saw an opportunity.
"Why kill him when we can profit?"
They reasoned, and they sold their own brother for 20 pieces of silver. Joseph was pulled from the pit, bound, and led away like an animal to be sold in a foreign land. As Joseph disappeared over the horizon, he looked back one last time at the brothers who had betrayed him. The brothers dipped Joseph's coat in goat's blood and brought it to their father. When Jacob saw the bloody coat, his heart shattered.
"Joseph has been torn to pieces by a wild animal."
Jacob mourned for his son with grief so deep he refused to be comforted, believing Joseph was dead. Meanwhile, Joseph was taken to Egypt, the great empire of the ancient world, a land of wonders and slavery. In the slave market of Egypt, Joseph was sold to a wealthy official named Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard. Potiphar saw something different in this young Hebrew slave: intelligence, integrity, and determination. Joseph worked diligently, and the Lord blessed everything he did, Potiphar noticed. Soon Joseph was promoted to manage Potiphar's entire household, and everything prospered under his care. But Joseph's good looks caught the attention of Potiphar's wife, who tried to seduce him.
"How could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?"
Joseph replied, refusing her day after day. One day, when they were alone, she grabbed his cloak. Joseph fled, leaving the garment in her hand. Furious at being rejected, she accused Joseph of the very crime he had refused to commit. Potiphar believed his wife, and Joseph was thrown into prison, punished for his righteousness. Even in the dungeon, Joseph did not despair. He knew that God was still with him. The prison warden saw Joseph's character and soon put him in charge of all the other prisoners. Years passed. Joseph faithfully served, still waiting for God to remember him. One day, 2 new prisoners arrived, Pharaoh's butler and baker. Both had troubling dreams.
"God gives the meaning of dreams,"
Joseph told them.
"Tell me what you saw."
Joseph interpreted their dreams. The butler would be restored, the baker would be executed. Both came true.
"Remember me when you return to Pharaoh."
Joseph begged the butler, but the butler forgot. 2 more years passed in that dark prison. But Joseph's faith never wavered. Then Pharaoh himself had dreams that troubled him, and no one in all of Egypt could interpret them. Suddenly, the butler remembered Joseph.
I know a Hebrew prisoner who interprets dreams.
Joseph was rushed from the dungeon, cleaned up, and brought before the most powerful ruler on earth. Pharaoh described his dreams: 7 fat cows devoured by 7 thin cows, 7 healthy heads of grain consumed by withered ones. Joseph listened, and God revealed the meaning.
Both dreams have the same message.
Joseph said,
7 years of abundance will come to Egypt, followed by 7 years of devastating famine.
Joseph boldly advised Pharaoh,
Store grain during the good years, so Egypt will survive the bad ones.
Pharaoh was amazed.
Can we find anyone else like this man, in whom is the Spirit of God?
That very day, Pharaoh removed his signet ring and placed it on Joseph's finger. He dressed Joseph in fine linen, put a gold chain round his neck, and made him second in command over all Egypt. Joseph, who had been a slave and a prisoner, now rode in Pharaoh's second chariot while people bowed before him. During 7 years of plenty, Joseph built storehouses and filled them with grain, preparation for what was coming. When the famine struck, it was worse than anyone imagined, but Egypt had food because of Joseph's wisdom. People from all nations came to Egypt to buy grain, including 10 brothers from Canaan. Joseph recognized his brothers immediately, though they didn't recognize him in his Egyptian clothes and authority. Joseph tested them, speaking harshly, accusing them of being spies, wanting to know if they had changed. When they brought Benjamin, Joseph's only full brother, on their second visit, Joseph could barely contain his emotions. Finally, Joseph could hide himself no longer. He sent everyone else away and began to weep so loudly the whole palace heard.
I am Joseph.
He cried.
Is my father still alive?
His brothers were terrified, unable to speak, but Joseph embraced them.
Do not be afraid. You meant to harm me, but God meant it for good. God sent me here to save many lives during this famine, including yours. It was all part of his plan.
Joseph sent for his father Jacob, who could hardly believe the news. His son was alive and ruler of Egypt. When Jacob finally saw Joseph, he embraced him and wept.
Now I can die in peace, because I have seen your face.
Joseph settled his entire family in the best land of Egypt, where they would be protected and provided for. What had begun with betrayal and slavery ended in reconciliation and salvation, all by the hand of God. Joseph's story became a testimony of faith through suffering and divine providence through impossible circumstances. And so Jacob's family grew into a great nation in Egypt, preserved by the boy who had once dreamed of sheaves bowing down.